In the Generation 2 Pokemon games, the third gym leader you battle is called Whitney. She's a normal type gym leader whose final Pokemon is Miltank, a cow Pokemon that knows the move Rollout. Rollout is a rock type move that grows in power every time it's used in succession, meaning it does more damage to the opponent every time it hits. It's been years since the games came out, but still, people are talking about how hard Whitney's Miltank is to beat. And so the question remains, why is Whitney's Miltank so hard to beat? The reason it's so hard to beat is because you played these video games when you were 7 years old. I'm gonna be honest, if you know what you're doing, Whitney is very easy to beat. You can trade a Drowsy for a Machop with some guy in Goldenrod City, which is the same city that Whitney is located in. For those who don't play Pokemon, Machop is a fighting type Pokemon, and fighting type moves do 2 times the damage to normal type Pokemon. Given that this is a normal type gym, using a Machop makes beating this gym an incredibly easy feat. The problem is that you played this game when you were a kid. You had zero idea what you were doing back then. Chances are you didn't even care about Machop. Unless this guy was your all-time favorite Pokemon or you were following some walkthrough online, you probably beat this thing the same way I did, by using only your starter Pokemon. When you're a kid playing these games, you don't care a lot about type advantages. You know about the basic starter triangle, but you don't care about what poison does to grass or what bug does to psychic. You're worried about moving forward in the game, catching all the Pokemon. Maybe you want to find one of those rare shiny Pokemon. Maybe you want to hunt down all the legendaries. What you don't want to do as a kid is look up and memorize a spreadsheet of what type beats what, because this is the most overwhelming thing in the world. I remember seeing this image as a kid and just saying to myself, yeah, I'm never going to be able to remember all this, and I still don't. I'm a lot better with type advantages now, but really, I'm not too concerned with memorizing all of them. One of the only type advantages I can remember committing to memory as a kid that I didn't learn by playing the games was Fairy being weak to steel and poison. I'm pretty sure I learned that by watching a YouTube video. What you have to understand is that Pokemon is a children's game first and foremost. Now, there is obviously some stuff thrown in there for older players. You know, you've got the IV system, the breeding system, the battle frontier, shiny hunts that take years off your life, but you have to remember that this is a franchise for kids first and adults second. When you look back on the things in video games that gave you a hard time as a kid, you have to remember that they were hard because you were a kid. I'm gonna spoil New Super Mario Bros. Wii's final boss here, okay? Anybody who wants to go play that game, go play it now, then come back to the video. This is your warning. Now, as a kid, me and my brother played this game a lot. I remember once we found the secret exit to the World 3 Ghost House, and it took us to World 6, and then we tried to make a copy of our save, and we ended up overwriting our save file, and then we had to go back to the World 3 Ghost House and find the secret exit all over again. The game itself is not very hard. However, the final boss of this game is without a doubt very, very hard. Now, the final level is fine, okay? And the first battle is cool. I like this little fake out where you think you've saved the princess, but then, uh-oh, it's actually Kamek, and then he flies away and uses his magic to make Bowser really, really big. Now, this level is actually really fun. However, for me and my brother's little kids, and I mean little, we were like 7 and 5 when we got to this part, this was the hardest thing in the world for us. I came back to it when I was like 13, 14 years old, and I beat the level twice. I beat it one day, and then I beat it again the next day. Why was I able to do this, you ask? Because I grew up and actually knew what I was doing in the video game. The same thing goes for Whitney today. She might have been really hard for you to deal with as a kid, but if you go back and play the game today, making sure to grab that Machop, you're gonna have very little trouble beating her. Unless you forgot to teach it any fighting moves.